So, Classroom of the Elite Season 3 is finally over. And this is the second part of my review slash rant, whatever you wanna call it. In my first video, I talked about my thoughts on the first 9 episodes, which adapt Volume 8, 9, 10, and a part of Volume 11 as well. And this time, I'm gonna go over my thoughts on episode 10 to 13, which adapt the rest of Volume 11 and the entirety of Volume 11.5. And if you're someone who's familiar with light novel adaptations, you might notice that they deadass jammed 5 volumes into 13 episodes. For comparison, Eminence in Shadow, The Apothecary Diaries, and 86 each adapted around 2 volumes in 20 plus episodes. Obviously, these are very special cases, and most light novel adaptations don't get the same amount of love, but still, most adaptations at least try to not go over 2 or 3 volumes in 12 episodes. So, basically, the pacing is almost twice as fast as the average slash bad light novel adaptation, and honestly, a joke when you compare it to something like 86. But, even though the pacing is horrible, at least the animation must be good to compensate for that, right? Well, Lurch really said nah, I'd win to that. I don't want to focus on the animation because I've already criticized it in a lot of videos, so let's just move on. A common defense I see for the anime adaptation is some people saying that they can't adapt everything and some things have to be skipped. And honestly, I would agree with them if only they weren't talking about Classroom of the Elite of all things. I completely understand that not every scene is going to make it into the anime, but the least they can try to do is deliver on the scenes fans are really looking forward to. The problem isn't that they skip things, it's the fact that they straight up change really important stuff and make things more edgier and dramatic compared to the light novel. All 3 seasons are filled with moments like this, but the 2 most atrocious examples this season are Kyo breaking down Ichinose and Hirata. I had a pretty long rant about both of these moments already, so I'm not gonna repeat all that, but basically what I'm trying to say is that even though both of those episodes have relatively less cut content compared to most episodes, they are very easily my 2 most hated episodes in this entire season. Not because there's cut content, but because they completely changed the moments I was really looking forward to. But seeing as I hated both Volume 11 episodes so far, I was decently surprised by episode 11, which was the chess match along with Arisu's backstory. First up, even though they didn't adapt any of Ayano Koji's monologues, I am genuinely glad that they did not make the wholesome scenes with Arisu edgier by adding in stuff like that should do it. And I was honestly quite surprised by the chess match. Even though they used CG, it did not look bad at all, partly because they were only used for the hand movements, but still, that is a step in the right direction. Also, the anime actually showed a chess match, which was really surprising, because the light novel didn't show any of the chess moves Arisu and Ayano Koji were making during their game. It instead focused on the dialogue, which worked for the light novel, but I don't think it would have translated as well into a visual medium, so props to the studio for that at least. And before anyone comments, I know that the chess match the anime showed was a low-level chess match and not something you would expect from child geniuses and prodigies. And this is something I'm very conflicted on. Because on one hand, I appreciate the studio for at least putting in the effort, and on the other hand, it makes it really hard to believe that these characters are supposed to be extremely smart and talented. I personally found the light novel version of this match to be lazy writing because it relied on exposition from side characters like Hashimoto and Horikita to make you believe that the match was an extremely high level one when the reader can't verify any of it themselves. So I somewhat appreciate the anime for going the show don't tell approach compared to the light novel. But I wanna know how you guys feel about this chess match. Would you guys have preferred a lazy writing approach, or did you like to see an actual chess match, even though it completely fails at portraying how smart the characters are supposed to be? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And now we move on to volume 11.5, which was jammed into the final 2 episodes. This is my favorite Classroom of the Elite volume. The conclusion to Suzune and Manabu's relationship, amazing character development for almost every important character, and even side characters such as Yukimura and Ike. some really interesting characterization to Ayano Koji, and massive amounts of setup for the future. This was the perfect volume to cap off the first year. And it really sucks that all of this was jammed into 2 episodes, which makes so many of these scenes lose their impact because the conversations feel so unnatural and fast paced, moving on from one plot point to another. The one good thing I can say about these 2 episodes is that they thankfully did not change any important moments or make them edgier. I was completely ready for That Should Do It after Ayano Koji's confession to Kei, but thank God they did not add it and keep it faithful to the light novel, even though it was kind of rushed. This volume had some of the most interesting monologues from Ayano Koji, and the anime had absolutely none of them. Getting to see just how much of an impact Manabu's final words had on him was such a great scene, and Manabu pretty much being the only person Ayano Koji respects was definitely not properly conveyed in the anime. Aside from that, the anime also ruined Nagumo's character. Nagumo genuinely respecting Manabu and being sad that they couldn't be in the same year together really adds some much needed layers to his character. And the fact that Nagumo has not interacted with Ayano Koji a single time in the entire anime is just absolutely hilarious. The anime also completely changed the Ichinoshi scene, which I don't understand. If you guys don't know, in the light novel, instead of touching her face like the anime showed, Kyo was straight up caressing her hair and touching her lips. It was supposed to be a really intimate moment where it genuinely felt like they were about to kiss or something. I really don't understand why the anime changed this scene, especially because the anime is dead set on making Ayano Koji this emotionless badass who plays with everyone's hearts and doesn't actually care about anyone. And to end off the video, I wanna give a shout out to Hideki Yamazaki, who is the Giga Chad that animated the Ryuen scene from the final episode. It was easily the best animated scene in this entire season, and I'm really grateful that we got to witness something memorable for the finale. And that is the last Classroom of the Elite video for this season. I really appreciate just how much love you guys showed on these videos. Even though I mostly hated season 3, I'll probably never forget about it because it was really fun rereading the series, making videos on it, and interacting with you guys every single week. And even though the anime is over, I'm planning on making some videos on the light novels, specifically blind reviews starting from year 2 volume 8. I haven't been keeping up with the series since year 2 volume 7, and I feel like this might be the perfect opportunity to start catching up and maybe even build a small community. I'm not sure when I'm dropping the first video or how frequent they're going to be, because I'm also planning on doing a lot of other anime content starting from this season. So let me know how many of you guys are interested in this by leaving a like on the video and commenting about it. And maybe consider subscribing to the channel as well. Once again, thanks for all the support, and hopefully see you guys in my next video.